She stepped into the room with a heavy sigh, her gaze falling on her 12-year-old son who sat before the television, watching with an air of indifference and boredom. "Emma, son, stop watching TV and go review your lessons. You have an important test coming up." Her son responded with a careless nod and spoke in a flat tone. "Daniel, I know." "Emma, I'm talking to you, sweetheart. Turn off the television." "Daniel, it's none of your business, Mom." "I know what I'm doing." His annoyed tone stirred something in her. She exhaled in frustration, snatched the remote from his hand, and turned off the screen. "Daniel, Mom, are you crazy? Stop acting ridiculous." His voice rose in anger, but Emma stood firm, her eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and fury. She was about to answer him, until a deep, commanding voice broke through the tension, cutting across the room with quiet authority. "Daniel, be quiet. You're wrong." Emma felt a shiver run down her spine as her eyes landed on the source of the voice. A tall, imposing figure stood near the entrance to the room, his eyes fixed sternly on her son. Daniel instantly froze, his angry expression melting away into a mixture of surprise and unease. His shoulders slumped as the words sunk in, and he muttered a quiet reply. "Yes, Dad." Emma watched the sudden change in their son, a bitter feeling welling up inside her. How could he be so easily influenced by a few words from his father, when she had been struggling to get through to him for months? Her husband glanced at her, his expression softening slightly as he gently patted her hand. "Husband, you're welcome." Emma felt a pang of frustration. Why did it have to be this way? Why did he have such a sway over their son when she had been the one pouring her heart out to him for months, trying to connect with him? She couldn't shake the feeling of helplessness that washed over her every time her husband spoke. Her husband's laughter filled the room, a sharp contrast to her own frustration. She nodded in response to his comment, her eyes narrowing as she looked at their son. "Husband, that idiot, huh?" He continued to support her in his arms, his grip firm. Despite the humor in his voice, she could sense the tension beneath his words. Their son, Adrian, stood up from the couch, his expression still a mix of annoyance and defiance. He begrudgingly walked over to his mother and muttered an apology. "Adrian, sorry." His voice was flat and lacking any real sincerity. She knew he wasn't truly sorry, but it was a small concession. She looked at her husband, searching for some reaction, but he seemed satisfied with their son's response. "Husband, that's enough." He slowly set her back down on her feet, his hand lingering on her hip for a moment. The tension in the room eased as he focused his attention on their son again. Her husband's words stung a bit, but she couldn't deny the truth in them. She exhaled, her gaze flickering between them. "Wife, he's always so difficult with me, but a few words from you, and he listens like a good boy." He chuckled again, bringing her hand to his lips, his expression playful. "Husband, that's because I know how to handle our little rebel." He leaned closer, his eyes filled with amusement. "Husband, and maybe because you are so cute and small." She rolled her eyes at his teasing remark, but a small smile tugged at the corners of her mouth. Despite her irritation, he had a way of making her feel both annoyed and loved. She gently slapped his shoulder, playfully swatting him away. "Wife, shut up. I'm serious." He laughed, effortlessly dodging her swat, his hand still holding hers. "Husband, I know you are, my love, but trust me, he's just going through his rebellious phase." She sighed, leaning against him lightly, her frustration blending with a hint of affection. He wrapped his arm around her, pulling her closer as if to reassure her. "Husband, he'll grow out of it eventually, and when he calms down, he'll be back to being the sweet little boy we know." She allowed herself to sink into his embrace, finding comfort in his words despite her lingering worries. Their son had always been spirited and stubborn, but lately it seemed like he was pushing her away more than ever. She mumbled against his chest, her voice tinged with a touch of resentment. Wife, it's just, he never seems to listen to me. Feels like I'm invisible, but as soon as you speak, it's like he wakes up. It's frustrating. He held her tighter, his fingers gently playing with her hair. Husband, I understand, but remember he's a teenager now. He's grappling with his identity and testing boundaries. It's not that he doesn't respect you, he's just trying to find his own path. She lifted her head, her gaze locking with his. There was a mixture of resignation and acceptance in her eyes. Wife, I know, I just wish he would talk to me. He used to come to me for everything when he was younger. Now it feels like he doesn't need me anymore. Husband, he still needs you, my love. Trust me. He does. But right now, he's just in a phase where he thinks he knows everything. She exhaled, leaning her head back against his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. He continued to hold her tightly, his voice soothing. Husband, just give him some time. He's your son, after all. You've always been his favorite. She couldn't help but smile at his words. Despite her son's recent behavior, it was true that he used to adore her when he was younger. Wife, I hope you're right. It hurts to feel like I'm losing him sometimes.